Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as you are getting a double upload because today's the big one. This is going to be a news video. There's tons to discuss already as I come to you this early in the day, and we've already had an entire day's worth of events that I'm going to go through and give you my thoughts on. Later on though, preview time for tomorrow's game where there will be the watch along, so make sure you're here for it. Manchester City versus Chelsea at the Etihad. It's about to get sticky. So be here for the preview later on. I will let you know what I think and how I think it's going to go down and all the latest heading into that game. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified. Let's get cracking. Now, yesterday, we heard about Kylian Mbappe and his decision, and it's done. He's going to be leaving PSG. So PSG decided, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, and I gave you my thoughts, that they want to go after Victor Osimhen, which brings a problem to Chelsea Football Club because we want Victor Osimhen. So who's going to get him? Well, we have an update. So Nizar Kinsella, fill us in with the latest. Chelsea are sounding out alternatives to Victor Osimhen, with the striker now firmly in Paris Saint-Germain's sights to replace Kylian Mbappe. This goes on to say, Chelsea are interested in Brentford's Ivan Toney and Brighton's Evan Ferguson, but will continue to sound out further options other than Victor Osimhen before the summer. We're going to get Evan Ferguson, aren't we? I'm sorry, listen, at this point, it's so obvious that anything Brighton related is coming our way. It's as simple as that. De Zerbi will be the manager. We'll get Evan Ferguson. Cucurella will start as the brand new number one left back. Like, it's all going to be... I don't know. We're going to get Graham Potter back. I mean, who knows? Flipping out. We know we're getting Sam Jewell from Brighton. Paul Winstanley's already in place. The only guy that's missing is Tony Bloom himself. So listen, I don't know, man. But like I said yesterday, I'm starting to more and more begin to think that we won't be getting Victor Osimhen because it's just too much. Now, I'm going to come to that point later on because there is a point to discuss about how Chelsea are managing their finances within. I'll get to that. So let's hold this thought and let's move on to the next topic. Like I said, I will return to it later. We've had one player where we don't know what's going on, and it's quite concerning. Until this day, we still don't know what the issue is. Romeo Lavia. What is this guy's injury? We still don't know. Well, let's hear from Matt Law, because he doesn't either. On Romeo Lavia's injury, it's a mystery, and no one can give you a straight answer. I don't know what's happening or where he is. You come up against a blank wall when you ask questions about him. I don't know is the honest answer. Fair play. Fair play for at least being straightforward on this one, Matt Law. He doesn't know. I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried here. What's so big that we can't know about it? If he's torn an ACL, if he's got a broken leg, God forbid. But if there's something serious, right, why not just say? And then we'd be like, yeah, okay, he's out for 6 months. We genuinely don't know. He came back from his injury. He played 32 minutes, never seen again. What's the problem? God knows. God knows. No one knows. He doesn't even know where he is. Is this guy at Cobham? Does he show up? Does he show up for recovery? Or is he... What's going on? It's really concerning. It's really concerning. So... Again, hold this thought because I'm going to return to Lavia very, very shortly. Before we do, here's the latest on Reece James, because yesterday, and I don't know where this came from, there was rumours that Reece James is so far ahead in his recovery. He's going to be back by April. Fantastic. You know, look, he's already, it's looking like he's already managing to get himself back on grass to an extent, or he's back running to an extent or something, right? Which is not surprising considering he had surgery and it's about, getting everything activated again. It makes sense that he's got to walk or try and jog or something. But apparently, it's so far from the truth, what we heard yesterday. So here's the latest. We've had told Chelsea do not want to risk bringing Reece James back early. Sources last night said that Reece isn't expected back in full training as it stands until the end of April, early May. A source stressed people are forgetting Reece unfortunately had to have surgery in early January. This rules him out for a number of months. We don't want to risk it. And I'm completely cool with this. I wasn't expecting him back. I told you when he got injured, he's out for the season. Done. We'll see you next season, Reece. Luckily, we got Gusto. And he's playing well. But when it comes to this, listen, you've had surgery, fantastic. It's what we all kind of were asking for because this is hopefully going to put this problem to bed once and for all. Had the surgery, done. Now, recover, get to 100%, and we don't need to talk about a hamstring any longer, anymore. Doesn't need to come back ever again, right? Fingers crossed. So in this regard, yeah, I wasn't expecting Reece to come back until next season. And I'm cool with that. If he didn't have surgery and he's out for a while and he comes back, of course I'm concerned. I'm like, is it going to come back again? It might, but he's had surgery. It's the most that we can possibly ask for. So onwards and upwards. Good luck to Reece, but I'm not expecting him back. So I don't know what happened last night, where it came from. It's just unrealistic, very unrealistic. So Joe Shields. We're going to talk about Romeo Lavia now, as well as Cole Palmer. But this is the latest in regards to what Joe Shields reckons within the Chelsea team. Joe Shields' belief in Cole Palmer has been emphatically vindicated, and the hope for Chelsea is that Romeo Lavia, who Shields previously took to Southampton, will prove similarly successful once he recovers from injury. You see, there's a bit of a correlation here, right? I'd like to think, and to be honest, this is where I stand on Romeo Lavia. If he wasn't injured, I would probably have him in my starting 11. Because I feel like he's in a position that is so crucial. And he comes from a similar background and pathway as we've seen Cole Palmer come from. Now, Cole Palmer's come straight from Manchester City, right? Romeo Lavia, we managed to take from Southampton. But two very, very, very similar backgrounds. And both brought by Joe Shields. Joe Shields, who you have to remember, was at Manchester City. This is where there's levels. It's funny, I saw Manchester United are looking to bring, is it Jacob or Jason Wilcox, right? Funnily enough, he's coming from Southampton too. But he was working at Manchester City for about 8 years as head of academy. He was the under-18 manager. He managed to get promoted, and then he was running the entire academy at Manchester City whilst Pep Guardiola has been there for the entire time, right? Now he's looking to be brought in as part of the football structure at Manchester United. Why? Because Omar Barada is obviously working there and he wants to take him along. That's levels. When you're taking people that have that relative amount of experience around top people, like how it's been at Manchester City, that's kind of what you need to bring to a club, especially like us, that should be striving to get back to the top. So when I look at Cole Palmer and how he's played, I'm not entirely surprised that he's been one of the standouts, if not the standout. Romeo Lavia, I've always had in the back of my mind, could be that too, but where is he? He's injured, and it just doesn't look like he's getting anywhere. So that's the one concern. But Joe Shields so far, if we're having to try and look at the recruitment staff, the directors, everyone in place, Joe Shields is the only one that can actually have his head up high a little bit. So respect to Joe Shields for his job so far. You got to be honest. There's critique, and when it's deserved, you give praise. Joe Shields so far, his job, his work has seemed like it's actually been good. So, brilliant. Keep it up. The others, though. Anyway, moving on. While talking about the others, let's talk about the owners. Let's talk about Todd Boehly and everyone, right? Let's do this. Not Win Stanley, he's a director. Eggbali, Feliciano, Clearlake, Boehly, Wiss, Walters. Let's bring them all in. We're going to have a discussion. Raheem Sterling. Matt Law's spoken about Raheem Sterling, so let's get into it. Raheem Sterling was singled out by Todd Boehly last April in a team talk in the dressing room. If we remember this, when I forgot who we played, but Todd Boehly apparently singled out Raheem Sterling. We heard about this at the time and really grilled him. Which, to be honest, I'm actually not against. To that extent, I'm not against. But the problem isn't there. The problem is before that. The problem is bringing Sterling to the club for a certain way and then abandoning that way, and Sterling has just deteriorated. Which is why I mentioned when he signed, and I said it again recently, that I truly believe Sterling, you put him in a team, you put him in an average team, he will look below average. You put him in a top team, he will begin to look like a top player. He's dictated by who's around him. That's kind of his problem. He can't stand out. With Sterling, let's get into what Matt Law said in regards to his arrival to Chelsea in 2022. Thomas Tuchel made it his mission to sign Raheem Sterling in the summer of 2022, convincing Bowley and Ighbali that he would transform Chelsea's attack and speaking personally with the player to encourage him to move. But just a month into the season, the German was sacked. Which furthermore brings the point. We actually signed players for Thomas Tuchel and then sacked him straight away. This is why this is going to end up looking like the biggest mistake that could have possibly been made. And some people are going to look at Thomas Tuchel now at Bayern Munich and go, well, he's finished. We made a good choice. He's not doing it at Bayern Munich. He was bloody successful at Chelsea though. And then we bought players for him and then sacked him. Aubameyang was brought for Thomas Tuchel, specifically, right? He played 52 minutes for him. Was it 52 minutes? Yeah, 52 minutes I think it was, because he was brought off on that game, I remember. That's all he did. So straight after that, Thomas Tuchel was sacked. So what are we doing? Like I said, that one decision is going to be the one that's going to continuously come to bite us on the backside, constantly. Should never have sacked Thomas Tuchel, man. We should never have sacked Thomas Tuchel. Huge mistake. And I honestly believe that Thomas Tuchel, if he stuck at Chelsea, would be doing better now, much, than he's doing at Bayern Munich, of course. Even though it's not actually a bad job that he's doing at Bayern Munich, but like I mentioned yesterday, the levels are so high, and the circumstances with Xabi Alonso, Bayer Leverkusen are killing it. Nagelsmann, who had a better record last season at Bayern Munich, even this season, last season at Bayern Munich, compared to Thomas Tuchel this season, even though Thomas Tuchel this season is not actually a disaster season, but for Bayern Munich, it's underperforming. Because levels. But he's still at Chelsea. I honestly believe we are nowhere near where we are right now. Simple as that. So, like I said, that will continuously come to bite us on the backside. And Sterling is one of those players. Now, Sterling, we actually have to contemplate letting go. Why? Because of his salary. He's not playing for the manager that brought him. He's looking very underwhelming. Tons of mistakes. And he's meant to be in his prime. And he's on a huge salary. So, if we're talking about salary, this is what Chelsea are looking to move forward with, and it just looks like we've not learned our lesson. We know Chelsea have a wage policy where they don't want to pay many players, if any, over 100 to 150k a week. So this goes to the point. If you're a top team, already at the top level, I believe you can start to try and work like this. Right? But you're a player your team that's striving to get back to a respectable position. And no matter who's available, no matter what happens, we are going to constantly try and just offer max 100 to 150k for a player. Max. Well, you best believe we're not getting anyone that's top tier. Impossible. Which is more reason why, and we return to Victor Osimhen now. More reason why I just don't think it's going to happen now. No chance. With this, we can't even get a sniff in for Victor Osimhen. When PSG and even Arsenal are probably going to come in, PSG will come in with something stupid. Arsenal will come in with something respectable because they need a striker. They've got good players elsewhere. They've got something clicking. They need a striker. They're able to pay a little bit of a premium to get that striker, and boom, done. £250,000 a week? No problem. We have that for you. Chelsea, though, we don't want to go near it. So who are we going to attract? We're only going to end up in the dogfight of, if there even is a dogfight, for players like Evan Ferguson, who's got a release clause, by the way, of 100 million. So if we even think of doing that again, honestly, Anyway, we'll probably target Gyökeres from Sporting. Maybe John Duran, like I said yesterday. Maybe we'll go for John Duran. Maybe he's the guy. Maybe he is the guy. You know, cheap, young. Yeah, nice. But this is what tells me we're going to be staying mid-table for a while. And I honestly don't believe we even have to. I don't believe it's financially, it looks sustainable. On a competitive front, it's just not. The time is going to come where you're going to have to pay big salary. You're going to have to. It's inevitable if you want good players. We're just going to fall even more behind as far as I'm concerned. That's my concern. That's my concern. And we'll see what ends up happening with the summer window, with the striker position. Who do you think we could end up getting? Let me know down below. Now, news on Mbappe follows on from yesterday. Kylian Mbappe has told PSG that there's no way back for his decision and he doesn't want to receive any counter-proposal. This is why Mbappe and PSG will communicate together in the next months via official and formal way the final terms of his exit at the end of the season. So it's looking like it's all basically done and dusted. So PSG are looking to take action. What action? Paris Saint-Germain already prepared their backup plan without Mbappe since December. There will be at least 3 big signings in this summer. A top player to replace Kylian up front, of course, but also a top midfielder and a top talented centre-back will join PSG. And we'll see who they end up with. But that's the right way to go. They're trying to build a new spine. Trying to get it all up and running again without Mbappe. Life after Mbappe. What's that going to look like? PSG no longer have Mbappe, bloody hell. I made him sound 4 years old. Mbappe. It's like some sort of child's television show. Hey, I'm going to watch Mbappe. Neymar and Messi. All gone. Crazy. So they're going to have to bring top tier in. And Victor Osimhen will definitely be in that bracket as far as I'm concerned for PSG. So we'll see what happens. Let me know who you think they'll probably get. Now, to wrap up, the latest managerial news in regards to Bayern Munich. Here it is. From the Times, Bayern Munich are increasingly likely to part ways with Thomas Tuchel in the summer and are set to rival Liverpool in trying to appoint Xabi Alonso. This would be I think, the correct move for Bayern Munich. But Liverpool have leverage on Xabi Alonso, man. Alonso never played for Bayern Munich. Alonso had a very good, successful stint at Liverpool and is deemed a hero over there. Much like at the same time Real Madrid too. But that's not going to happen anytime now because Carlo is very much in the job and he's not going anywhere. So Bayern Munich will try and compete, but I honestly think with Jurgen Klopp going, the plan is for Liverpool to go and get Xabi Alonso, and I honestly think they will get him. Like I said, I actually would not mind, from all the new gen managers that are coming through, if Chelsea were to move for Xabi Alonso, that's the one that I would be deeming acceptable as it stands right now in terms of the way that he's moving, because it's serious, right? But yeah, Liverpool, connection is there. It goes way back. I think he'd want it. They've got everything set up beautifully. Bayern Munich, that's, yeah, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. So Bayern Munich are like, yo, we can't beat Leverkusen. Take their gaffer. That'll make us win. It's all about how to win. So, Xabi Alonso, where is he going to end up? Personally, I think it'll be Liverpool. But let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you later on for video number 2 as we get into the long-awaited preview for one of the biggest games this season. And I'm actually worried what could happen. But I'll let you know what I think. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Preview later on. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to be notified of it once it does get uploaded. And I will see all of you later on. Have a good day, people. See you a lot later tonight. Take care and peace.